All right, this morning, Prince George's County Schools marking a milestone. Dr. Shawn Joseph is now 100 days into his role as superintendent and says the district is seeing real progress in academics, staffing, and school safety, but there's still plenty of work ahead.
Dr. Joseph is joining us now to talk about the strides they've made and what comes next. Good to have you here.
Good morning to you.
Yeah.
Good morning. Yeah, we appreciate you.
And you've been so busy because, look, you've reached your first 100 days.
Yes.
What are you most proud of so far?
You know, we're most proud of the fact that we're seeing improvement. And in Prince George's County Public Schools, you know, it's always been a narrative, on how well the school district is doing. And when you look at results, we are a 96% Black and Latino school district. And Black and Latino students in Prince George's County do better than students in the state of Maryland. And that's a narrative that doesn't typically get out, but it's a fact.
Right. You've talked about in the past accelerated growth. Explain what that means and how that's on your agenda for one of the things you're going to focus on.
Yeah, so we did analyses to look at our students making adequate growth in the district. And the fact is they are. But the fact is we've got 40% of our students are English language learners. So English isn't their first language, so they're not going to do well on tests. So what we say is we don't have a remediation challenge in Prince George's. We've got to accelerate growth in the district. But that, knowing that is significant because it informs our strategy, in terms of really, so how do we work to get kids accelerated opportunities and extended opportunities instead of thinking about, we're from a deficit model, we need to remediate kids. We don't need to remediate, we need to accelerate.
Give them some opportunities.
That's it.
I love it. Now we know that teacher and bus driver shortages have been a major concern, especially among parents, how to coordinate everything. How stable is staffing today? What would you say to parents watching?
Well, we're 90% staffed, which is excellent for a district that has 133,000 students, 22,000 employees. Our transportation has dramatically increased. Actually, so much so, our Director of Transportation, Mr. Kiba Brown, he won the National Director of Transportation of the Year award this year. So we just went to Dallas to celebrate him he got that award as a result of marked improvement in communications and transportation. We're down to about 40 or 50 bus drivers, but we have 1,200 bus drivers in the district. So we have been cracking. Look, we eat our Wheaties every day in Prince George's County.
It's important.
Yeah, let's talk about the vision ahead.
Yeah.
Some investments you might make, some other changes you're looking forward to tackling.
Yeah, as we move into the next school year and the budgeting season, which will be tough this year, we've got to figure out if we want to accelerate, we need accelerants. So we're talking about more investments in AI technology for teachers and students, looking at professional development differently for our teachers, focusing on STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. I mean, Prince George's County is, we're just in a place where there's lots of great science, technology opportunities here. We want to make sure our kids have access to them.
Certainly. When you think about, again, parents watching right now, what is your main message to them and really how you're continuing to grow the district, the kids, anything else that you would touch on that we haven't spoken to yet?
Yeah, what I would say is it's a great time to relook at Prince George's County. Look, we got 132,000 students in the district, but we've got a lot of families that are spending a lot of money going a lot of other places.
Sure.
And I would say it's worth saving your money and putting it in a mutual fund for your kids to come on into Prince George's County.
Right. Last question before we go, Dr. Joseph,
Yes.
is how do you change the narrative on that? Because like you said, you have people that will leave the county and say, I'm going somewhere else because there's a perceived better school district because we're not getting it done in Prince George's County. So how do you change that narrative with the general public? I
think it's one day at a time, getting people into the schools, because I think if people come into our schools, they'll see the excellence. Look, we got more high quality programs than most places in Maryland. And our goal is to make all of our schools, our neighborhood schools, like you don't have to go to a special school to get a great education. And that's what we're focusing on. What are the things we do to make every single school exceptional?
All right, Dr. Shawn Joseph, 100 days into the job, and look, we're cheering for you.
Right, absolutely. I love education.
Yes.
All my parents were educators, and I have a lot of people in my family educators, so I'm really into education. Yes. All right. Thank you, sir. We appreciate your time.
Thank you. It's great being here.
Thank you, sir. All right, we're going to send it, Jonathan, over to you. Got to check on our forecast today.